to truncate this video or this time lapse that has spots created, we have to do a couple of different steps. So right now I opened up this time lapse that has 45 time points in it, and I'm going to first crop the time under Edit, Crop Time. I'm just going to drop this down to being like from 1 to 30. So we'll be getting rid of those last 15 time points. And you can see here as I go through, my spots are still present, but the spots underneath are not moving. As you saw, when you crop the time, if there's any kind of objects that are being tracked or present in the time lapse, they'll still remain there even though they shouldn't. So the way to get rid of those spots at the different time points, there's the easiest way to do would be to crop those spots at the end. So the way we do this is, first thing is to make sure that the object is being selected. The default selection will say full track selection, so you want to change this to object selection so that the little spot here is yellow instead of having the track be yellow. And then we're going to add a filter that's based on the time points we want to get rid of. So we'll go to the filter tab and then add a new one. And then there's a couple of different ones you can do. You can either do this time one, but I think the time index works a little bit better. So we want to get rid of the ones that are time points 31 to 45. So I'm going to here put in the bottom of our threshold to equal 31 and then turn on the top threshold and have that be selected for 45. And then we can go through and check to make sure that this looks accurate. So if we scroll through our time series, these are all the ones we want to keep. And then we want to get rid of the ones moving forward. So those are the ones we want to get rid of. So we want to keep the ones that are at frame 30. Like we just turn over spots. So this is the last one that has movement. Is this, here's frame 30. It looks like it's time point 29, and that's just because the first time point is listed as 0. So we'll turn those back on. That looks good. And then you then go to the Edit tab and select Delete. So it's going to get rid of those spots that we don't want anymore. So then if we go through our time series, these are the ones we're interested in. And you can see they disappear when we no longer want them to be present. And so there is still going to be information here in this area. It's just because the metadata is still there. So because there were 45 time points originally, that's still going to be there. But it doesn't need to be in the animation that we're looking at. So if we then switch to the animation tab, we can add in some keyframes that we would like to. So if I want to do my first keyframe here to be at this one, and then go through my time series, that's just up to that point. And then we can play through it. And that looks correct. And you'll see that if we go back to this keyframe, it stops at that 29 or frame 30, which is really time point 29. And then we can record it. And this is just a really quick animation, 50 frames total. So it'll record quickly. And then we can look through it. It doesn't have those extra frames like what you saw before. So that's one way of doing it. You can also filter out that same way we did before, but duplicate that selection to new spots if you like how that looks better. So that's the way I would get rid of those spots, or you can do this with surface objects too, but so that you can get rid of those objects that kind of hung around after you cropped the time series. Let me know if you have any questions. Thanks.